Pretty much.
No,
just even as you respond to that, I also want you to look at another issue that you've touched on, even on the level of debt in this country. I want to give you some facts here, Nabiswa, so we can see exactly, are we talking about what is really happening on the ground? Now, let me give you some numbers here. Just as Uhuru Kenyatta was stepping out of government, that was in September 2022, we were already at 7.99 trillion. That was our debt level. All right? Good. If you look at where we are in March 31st, 2022, we are now talking about 8.4 billion. Actually, that was in September 21, we were at 7.99 trillion. In March 31st, 2022, we were at 8.4 trillion. Now, we are talking about 405 billion that has been galloped within that short period that President Dr. William Ruto was in government. That if you now take this talk then of how much we are borrowing since he came into government, some economic allies are saying that if you take it, all right, month on month, is borrowing more than President Uhuru Kenyatta. Indeed, if you look at this difference, that from March to September, there's a difference of 405 billion. Right now, then you would imagine where we are. It's 1 year down the line. We're talking about trillions, isn't it? So indeed, when it comes to this debt speak and borrowing, analysts are saying, is borrowing more, guys. So stop that talk about we are not borrowing anymore. So there is no difference. It's a continuation. That's what they're saying. Nabiswa, just 3 minutes, because I know you want to step up.
You know, Elijah, let me start off. You know, I'm really wondering when did the agriculture became mythical in Turi? You know, we are talking about agriculture. Agriculture.
Is it not though, Nabiswa?
If Mambo talks of the current regime, how comes that the current regime took all the 10 years to import, to bring in cheap fertilizer, which came in from 2013. Now this cheap fertilizer landed in when William Ruto was the president. You know, these are some of the opposition politics that they are really trying to come up to counter the achievements of the current regime. And I think, I really doubt if they are going to work. Farmers like me myself, in the previous 2 years, we never went to the farm because I could not imagine going to buy fertilizer at 7,000 when the bag of maize itself goes at 3,000. There was no need. So why did the previous regime really work on that, knowing very well that the Kenyan economy largely depends on agriculture, tourism? These are being the major sectors in this country. Now, coming on the issue of the debt, the borrowing of the country depends on the debt deficit of a given country. Now, talking of the previous borrowing, you know, when William Ruto came in, he was working under which budget? It was the budget of 2022-2023. And in that budget, it had a deficit of almost around 1.8 trillion. And this deficit, whether you like it or not, you have to finance it through borrowing. There is no other way. Now, look at the current budget statement, the just done budget statement. It was scaled down from 1.1 trillion. The budget deficit was scaled down from around 1.1 trillion to 700. What does that mean? You are really working out to ensure that you are reducing our level of borrowing. And still on the same budget, we have the consolidated fund service. It has almost 980 billion, which is more higher than the allocation set aside for development in the country. Now, that alone shows that there is a problem somewhere. We need to work out on reducing the debt of the country. And this has been really worked out. And what the president said when he was campaigning, he said that this issue of borrowing is eating up our country and we have to work on it. And we have just seen it working out, reducing the budget deficit so that we can finance our projects on our own. And it's not in the long run. We reduce the debt. I know after a given time, things are going to work out. Even Musalia Mudavadi himself once said it's not going to be easy. It will take 2 years for us to come back to our scale. You asked about education. You see, the system that has been proposed by the cabinet, the current university funding system, you know, for me, I consider it to be a system that will bring equity in our education system, more so funding, whereby we have loans and we have scholarships. And you see, those people who qualifies for full scholarships are those vulnerable, more vulnerable students. Are you aware, Elijah, that in the previous funding system, the HELB, you could find a total orphan while applying HELB, but he might end up not getting as much as a person who has both parents.